All right, I think we're on. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Rachel here in the Love Lab. It's been a pretty busy day, but it's a good day nonetheless. I had Apatow won an award today. Yay! A Soul by the Pound. I'm an official Soul Star Award. And I was presented to 4 amazing women. I gotta say, I was one of the 4, so I'm not trying to toot my own horn. That's what they said when they gave me this gift. And it focused, well, I don't really know. I'll tweet about it, but I won this award today. And I'm so proud, and thank you Soul by the Pound for honoring me with this. So it's Thursday, and welcome to the Love Lab. We're here every Thursday at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And anyone who knows me knows I'm very anal about it. And I'm like, hey, I gotta get home. It's time to do my Ustream because you guys seem to enjoy it. I'm getting good feedback. So we're going to keep doing this. I want you to continue asking me your questions so that I can answer them on here. We've got a couple things today. I'm going to try to stay within my 15-minute boundary this time. And what are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about anal sex. Got to talk about that because it's become very popular and I get tons of questions about it. So we have to discuss the intricacies of anal sex. And we're talking about an unconventional way to boost your partner's sex drive. So I hope you're going to appreciate my comments on that because at the end of the day, when it comes to your partner's sex drive, it's probably not their hormones. It's probably not anything other than what's going on in their brain. So we could talk about ways to get that sex drive back on track and to help their brain feel a little more like having sex. All right, so let's get started with my favorite part of these broadcasts, which is the tweet of the week. Dun, 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 dun. All right, this tweet of the week comes from JM the Love Junkie. She says, don't get me wrong, I've tried, but you can't tell your mind something that your heart won't allow. Hallelujah, that is correct. And I say this all the time, if you don't feel it in the beginning of the relationship, you sure won't feel it in the middle or the end of it. So let's not settle, people. Let's go for the gusto. Let's go for love each time. All right, so let's get into let me get this banner off the page. Let's just dive, no pun intended, into... Oh, let me grab it. Dang. Hang on a second. I'm just running in, so give me a minute. Coming. All right. I'm back. Okay, so anal sex. First, I want to talk about why anal sex can be dangerous and why you have an increased risk of contracting HIV when you have anal sex rather than just penis and vagina sex, penis and oral sex. Well, it really boils down to the anatomy of the anus. The anus, as you know, is a very tight muscle. And since that muscle is really tight, instead of stretching a lot of the times, it ends up tearing. So when you have tears, what ends up happening is it's very easy for viruses and diseases to get into your system when there's a cut on your skin. Think about it that way. It's almost like if you're not versed in anal sex or someone has done it very vigorously on you, you can tear open your anus, little micro tears. I'm not talking about those big gaping tears, and that's how the virus enters, and that's what ends up making anal sex, unprotected anal sex, even more dangerous than unprotected vaginal sex. So I wanted you to understand that completely. But in order to really get you a good idea of this, I want you to kind of look at the anatomy here of the anus. So look at how tight the anus is. This is a woman's anus right here. So you have your vagina and your anus. And look at the anal sphincter. This is the part, wait, let me get my hand where you guys can see it. This is the part on the bottom. And what you're looking at, look at all those muscle layers that get involved in the anus. So the anus is not made out of the same material as the vagina. That's why it's a totally different type of sex. And that's why we have to talk about the intricacies of it, okay? So what I did is I brought a few things to demonstrate. Now, for those of you who are candy junkies, you recognize these as peaches. I think they're called some type of little peach candy. Well, I brought these along because they're rings, and they can help us demonstrate a hole. So, of course, there's more to a vagina and an anus than a hole, but what we have here is a hole that's hard. This one's the hard one. and one that's not. So what this represents is a muscle that's relaxed and a muscle that's not relaxed. So if we get out my trusty dusty Mandingo penis here, what ends up happening is if you try to penetrate this one, it goes very, very well. See how it's stretching to accommodate. So this represents either a very relaxed anus or a vagina or a mouth, something that's stretching to accommodate. This one, the hard one, represents an anus that is not relaxed. And as you can see, it's hard, it's not stretching, it's not accommodating, and as a matter of fact, it's tearing, it's ripping. That represents, people, what's happening to your anus when it's not relaxed, when there's not enough lube, and how these things can go wrong. So, number one, when it comes to anal sex, you really want to have a condom involved in the situation, a latex condom with a lot of lubricant. Okay, so we talked about the anatomy, we've talked about the lubricant, but let me talk about cleanliness. Now, people who are very into anal sex tend to even want to do an enema. An enema, you can buy them at the drugstore, you just stick it in your anus, you squirt water up, and it cleans the area. Cleanliness is very important because we know that if you get any feces in your partner's mouth, or feces in your partner's vagina, or feces in your vagina, you could end up with an infection. Particularly if it goes to your urethra, you can have a very bad urinary tract infection. So cleanliness is next to godliness. If you're not going to go to the measures of doing an enema, what you still want to do is take the corner piece of your washcloth, twist it, kind of like when you're cleaning out your ears, and use that to clean your anus when you're in the bathroom. Now, the key to people who really enjoy anal sex is a couple of things. Did they enjoy it the first time? Most people will say, it hurt the first time, but now I'm a warrior, now I'm a trooper. And really all that means is they practiced. So it does take a little practice and a little relaxation techniques in order for you to get pretty good or to the point where you can actually enjoy anal sex. So here's one thing. Think about your anus as a really clenched, tight muscle. Now, we talked about what happens when it's clenched tight versus when it's relaxed. The goal in anal sex is to relax your muscles so that it can be penetrated. So, what this takes are two partners that are kind of comfortable with each other and trusting of each other. Because when you're not ready, when you're not relaxed, the worst thing that can happen is someone putting their penis or their vibrator into your anus when it's not relaxed. So the first step is relaxing. And you can actually practice relaxing ahead of time in the shower. So when you're in the shower doing these cleaning techniques we're talking about, you can even take some soap, put it on your finger on the towel, and actually relax your butt muscle while you penetrate. So what I mean when I say relax is that same muscle that you're relaxing to have bowel movements, that's the same muscle you're relaxing during anal sex. The people who tend to say anal sex hurts is either one, they have a really big, large penised partner, or they haven't figured out how to relax enough for the penetration to actually feel good. So that's the big thing, relaxing. Now, for the partner, you can help your partner relax by dilating. We talk about this sometimes with vaginal sex too. You dilate. First, a pinky. Once they've relaxed to the point, then you can go to your finger. Then they've relaxed, now you can go to your thumb. And so what you're gradually doing is dilating the anus so that it's opening up and relaxing enough to accommodate a penis. Now, one thing about porn is, on the anal sex part, it's, just wearing the anus out. Now, if you are not used to this type of activity, you will hurt yourself. You will be in my clinic on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, complaining that it hurts. Now you're having hemorrhoids. Now perhaps you've even, split or ruptured something. So anal sex isn't necessarily designed to take place the same way that vaginal sex is. You want your partner to be a little kinder to your anus. You want your partner to be very connected to the point where you can signal them like, hey, bruh or sis, let's slow this thing down, to the point where it's not hurting as much, okay? So with anal sex, I want you to think of anal sex like something that you train yourself for. The first time, the second time, it may not be something that you enjoy, but for those people who get to the point where they can actually handle having a penis in their anus, they actually tend to enjoy it because it's a mix of pain and pleasure, and the two go hand in hand. I cannot stress enough that you need to have lubricant. If this is your partner, you guys are in a monogamous relationship, both of you have been tested for HIV and STDs, and you 100% trust this person, then you don't necessarily need condoms, but you're always going to need lubricant because the anus does not make any natural lubricant of its own. All it has is boo-boo. So the boo-boo or the feces is actually what's helping things glide in and out. And when that's not there, if you've cleaned, thoroughly, then you'll need some lubricant to help things slide. And for anal sex, I actually recommend silicone-based lube like Platinum Wet because it'll help things glide. But keep in mind, silicone-based lubricants make a mess and are tough to clean up, okay? So tweet me all your questions, email me, anything like that about anal sex, and I'll see if I can help. So if you tried it once and you didn't like it, don't be discouraged. You can actually try it again. But I do stress you want this to be with someone that you trust, someone that you care about, someone that you know is not going to hurt you, and that you know their HIV and STD status. And I still recommend using condoms because it makes it easier on the cleanup. All right. So, and then let me show you this just to reiterate this. This is a picture of a cutaway of the anus. Look at all the muscle tissue there. This is what I mean by the tissue of the anus is not designed to just kind of relax. It doesn't have much elasticity to it. It's a muscle like any of the other muscles that you have. So you want to be very careful. All right. So we don't have much time left, but I want to talk about this unconventional way to get your partner's sex drive up. All right, let's think about this. Let's think about the reward system. How many of you have kids? What do you do to get your kid excited about doing things? Now, as adults, we're no different than kids. We are no different than kids. We like rewards. We like stuff. So what you're going to actually do is kind of train your partner's brain to actually find sex to be just as exciting as you do. Because what I find that happens is as time goes by, one partner really likes sex and the other one is like, I could really do without it. So what you want to do is reinforce to your partner how great of a person you become after they give you some. And so what happens is they start to connect mentally. This is the same thing that Pavlov did. This is the same thing that parents do with kids to train them and get them on the right track. It's positive reinforcement. You give me some, so I'm going to give you some. Whatever it is that your partner likes. Let's go through some of them. Cash. Perhaps they like to go shopping. As soon as they give you some, the next day you take them shopping. Shoes. Perhaps your partners like shoes. Take them to get some shoes, have their favorite pair of shoes waiting. Maybe they're even into power drills. If that's the case, get them a power drill. So what I'm getting at here is that when it comes to your partner's sex drive, most of the time it's not hormones. Most of the time it's not a medical illness. There's nothing really going on. They've just decided, sex, I could do without it. And whether or not it's important enough to them that it's bothering you is really what the issue is. So what I find is that couples whose one of the partner is really reinforcing this positive reinforcement, it can even be as simple as taking the trash out the next day, being very helpful the next day. Whatever it takes to reinforce to your partner that after they give you some, you are going to be that partner that they daydreamed about. What that does is positively reinforces the fact that now they want to have sex a little more. So, hey, sometimes you got to go a little unconventional on it. And is it prostitution? Absolutely not. You two love each other, so there's no prostitution when it comes to love. We're just trying to encourage things a little bit, okay? So I'm Dr. Rachel. We are about to be out of time. Follow me on Twitter, log on to drrachel.com, ask your questions. Some of you have asked questions that I didn't have time to get through. I had to rush through the anal sex thing. But if I didn't answer them today, I promise you I'll get to them on Twitter tomorrow. So tune in next week, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, every Thursday. And I can't wait to see you till next week. See ya.